How's it going, everybody? We're back again. Very quick turnaround on this one. There's a lot of things coming up, Jill, that are very important. So we wanted to jump back in and have a good conversation today. So welcome back to Hometown Conversations. Just real quick, how did Halloween go?
Oh, I think it went great. The morning started with my 10-year-old insisting that he go trick-or-treating with me. And not me and his friends, because that would be weird. You either go with your friends or your mom, not both. Right. And by the time he got home from school at 4 p.m., everything had transitioned. He was going to a buddy's house for pizza and Halloween games. They were going to go trick-or-treating together. I was out of the equation altogether. And so you had done a fair amount of decorating at the house, so right. We put some chairs out front and handed out candy, and I had the best time seeing all the little kids.
You did. That really just kind of like filled you up. You felt better about yourself after that.
It had been a rough day at work, and it was really nice to see all the little kids. And we had this kind of scary, not skeleton. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either.
And some of the kids were scared. One little boy walked up to it because it says things like, "Follow me into the dark." And one little boy got up to it, and his little finger got up, and he goes, "You can't tell me what to do." And I was like, "Oh, you're the sweetest I've ever seen." So yeah, it was a great night.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And Sam got 37 pounds of candy, and he's wondering if any of the dental offices in the area pay children for their candy, because he would rather have money than the candy. So reach out if that's a thing anymore. I know it used to be.
It really would be ideal if that happened. I don't think they pay them, but I know that there used to be one downtown that would just collect it.
Yep.
I think they just toss it in the garbage.
Oh, I'm sure. Any good dentist would just throw it in the garbage.
Do you think?
I would hope so. They maybe eat a couple pieces, but for the most part.
Yeah, so we had a good night. And by Halloween standards, we had a lot of kids come through.
Yes.
I mean, we had probably 150 kids, I would think. It's nothing like Graham Street, though.
No, fantastic.
Graham Street, I saw, had 1,700 kids through. And there's a part of me that wishes I lived on that street, and a part of me that is glad I don't.
I think you'd kind of have to save all year. Throw $100 in a bucket to afford. Yeah.
So I think there's that. But we had a good time. And by 8 o'clock, it was all over. We had everything torn down by 8:30.
Yep.
And we're back inside, enjoying the warmth, because it was kind of cool.
It was getting chilly.
But we've enjoyed some good weather the last few weeks. So especially for late October, November standards, I'll take this 70 degrees any day that I possibly can. So there's that. So we had a great time with Halloween. I hope all of you guys did too. And if you have any ideas for costumes for next year, I'm all ears. I've seen some amazing ones, like Hawaiian punch, maybe a Hawaiian shirt with a boxing glove on. That's awesome.
You could be all ears.
No.
Can we just glue ears all over you? And you're, I think so. Don't you?
I don't want to do that. So, all right. So we get on with, we're joined today by Rachel Gamunden. Very close
he was going to let me introduce because he was nervous to say her last name.
Just say it real fast.
Just real
Rachel
fast.
Gamunden. How was that? Fast enough?
It's very close to what happens with me. Everyone's like, "How do you pronounce your last name?" I'm like, just forget it. There was a part of me that if I ever become famous, I'm just going to use my middle name because it's just very standard and make it easy.
That's good.
So speaking of names that are hard to pronounce, first or last names, I will tell the two of you one of my biggest pet peeves is when you ask someone how to say their name and they say, "It doesn't matter." No, it matters. It does. I want to say your name correctly. We have some people where I work who have very non-traditional names, and I don't, and it's her first name. I don't want to say it wrong. That feels super. And she's always like, "It's okay."
How
I'm like,
Minnesotan
no,
is it? It's okay.
I know, right? I'm like, how do I say it? It's okay. No, I don't think that's how you pronounce it. It's okay. I like to know. So
yeah. So for those of you guys who don't know, and maybe a lot of people don't, I think they don't understand exactly what the Hutchinson Health Foundation is. And that's why we brought you in. Obviously, we have a big event coming, and we're going to talk about that towards the end of the podcast. But we want to find out just a little bit more about what the foundation is. So for those of you guys who don't know, the Hutchinson Health Foundation is a separate nonprofit group that is part of supporting local hospitals and other health-related organizations in our community and surrounding area. I had to write that down so I didn't screw it up, because I just want to make sure we got it right, right? So one of the things I noticed on the website was talking about community first partnerships. I think there's I don't know if a misunderstanding. Some people don't even know the Hutchinson Health Foundation even exists, right? But it isn't just there to support the hospital. It's there to support a lot of organizations, correct?
Right. Yes. So the Hutchinson Health Foundation actually has been going since 1984. We are a standalone foundation in that I am an employee of Hutchinson Health. However, our foundation is completely separate from Hutchinson Health. However, with that said, the person that we want to support or the entity is Hutchinson Health.
Right.
However, Hutchinson Health as a whole wants to start really, or has wanted to, not only take care of the patients or the people in our community, but also do great work with health initiatives in the community. So that's a main focus of our foundation.
Yeah.
It's really full circle when you think about it, right? I mean, you talk about anything from wanting to build more walking paths that affects people's overall health, that affects Hutchinson. I mean, if you don't look at it holistically, you're kind of behind the times. So it makes a lot of sense that that's what Hutch Health wants to do.
Yes. And we were actually started. So our board was started for a local hospice is actually how we first started, because we were fully independent from any healthcare system in 1984. And then we forged a relationship, obviously, with Hutchinson Health, and the rest is history. But I think it speaks to our community as a whole. We, in the beginning, supported a lot of capital projects because that's what your donors wanted. So when we talked about Harmony River and doing that capital campaign and doing project upgrades and waiting room upgrades and the things that we used to, we still do those things. We still have donors that really like to see what they can do, their dollars can do. But we also are feeling that our donors are switching into really more of the projects and programs. So how do we be healthier as a whole? What programs support that? So our relationships with other nonprofits, I think that's one thing that I'm happy since I came to the foundation, is that we really are looking to partner with some of the other nonprofits that have some health needs, like Common Cup and doing the backpack program that directly affects access to food, which is one of our main community health need assessments at Hutchinson Health.
Yeah. So talk about that community needs health assessment, because there's a lot of things that go into that, and it kind of helps guide what we're trying to get accomplished at the foundation.
Yes, yes. So in 2018, we actually joined the Health Partners family, and that's when that community health needs assessment, you'll hear people call it the CHINA. The first time I heard CHINA, I'm like, huh? I don't know what that is. But it's kind of looking at our population here and saying, what are our biggest disparities, or what are the biggest things affecting healthcare? That's changed a little bit with COVID, but the same ones come to the top, which is mental health and then access to food, both in our younger population, but also in Hutchinson, our older population.
Absolutely.
And access to care is actually one of them too. So when you need care, how do you get to that care?
Yeah. So the board itself
Yes.
is a group that helps kind of, I don't know, for lack
The
of a better
face
word,
of the foundation.
Face of the foundation. That's a better word for it. Made up of a lot of different people, doctors, business people, that kind of stuff. What has it been like working with us? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was going to say, Roman, you're one of them.
I know. For those of you who don't know, I said I am on the board with this group, and it's been a fun ride the last couple of years. Obviously, I got on just after COVID kind of ended, so we're just starting to get meetings back together and all this kind of stuff. And over the years, though, that's helped guide for a lot of different projects. I was looking on your guys' website, and in 2021, there were 17 total grants that went out for almost $30,000. Tell us about some of those grants that you guys worked on last year.
Yes. And I should have a list in front of me so I don't forget any. But however, some of the ones that I love are we've supported the Hutchinson Farmers Market. We've paired with them. And each week you can, if you are between the ages of 2 and 12, go get a token to be used for fresh produce. So we support that. We've supported that for a number of years. Wheel and Cog in town, they have a lot of exhibits geared towards healthy living and how do we develop those habits at an early age. So we've supported Wheel and Cog. A new one, the biggest question we get with, what's your service area? Do you only fund things in Hutchinson? We don't. We have a vast array of where we get patients. So like this year we supported Rise and Roam in Litchfield, which is another similar to a wheel and cog.
Yeah.
So that was another popular one. We've done things like playground upgrades, Common Cup doing the food backpack program, McLeod County Food Shelf we've supported. So kind of a vast array of things.
Yeah, I think it's important to note too that it isn't just Hutchinson related.
Nope.
The group the foundation has really tried to push out farther and cover a much bigger area. I remember we talked about this in one of the last meetings, just the size of the area that we do cover. I mean, as far as north as Dassel, and it does kind of. We hear Hutchinson because it's in the title, so we assume it's just Hutchinson related. If somebody were to look at maybe getting a grant, and going that direction and seeing if they even qualify for it, because I think what happens with grants a lot of times is people don't know what they don't know,
Right.
So they just don't apply, and then they just try to do it on their own. And I think if they had an understanding of what was available and what qualifies for applying for a grant, how would they go about doing that?
Yes. So our grant cycle opens in January, so January 1st every year. You can go to our website and download the application. It is a little tricky sometimes, to find that application. So certainly if you can't, please reach out to myself or Brenda, my colleague. You can email or call the foundation. So that grant window opens January. It closes the last Friday in February. And to qualify, so you don't have to be a nonprofit. We ask that you're a not-for-profit, so you don't have to have that specific designation. And it really has to go to healthcare-related projects or programs. So so if there's something that you think in the community would make the health and well-being of the community better, good chance that you do in fact qualify. Exciting thing is this year, so last year we had $30,000 to put into that. This year we are doing $60,000.
It's double.
Do you get a lot of applications?
We do. We have had an uptick. So I think last year we had close to $200,000 worth of requests.
Wow.
But that's both internal and external.
Sure.
So that grant cycle, we do have some internal grants that we award to Hutchinson Health too.
Yep, of course.
But a good portion of that goes back to the community.
Nice. And is it the Hutchinson Health Foundation board that makes that decision, or a separate committee?
Yep. So our foundation, that's an excellent question. Our foundation has several different committees. We actually, one way that we raise funds are different events, and community members at large can serve on those committees. However, for a grant, something that is awarding monies from the foundation does need to be a board member.
Makes sense.
And that's their favorite one.
Is it? Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, it's like Chris. It's like being Santa.
Yes.
I mean, you don't want to say no, but look at all the things you get to say yes to, and then I've never done it, but I would imagine then you see things happening throughout the community, and you're like, oh, I had a part in that.
Yes.
Yeah. I got to decide that I helped that happen. Yeah, that's cool.
So one of the things that is nearer and dearer to Jill's heart is education.
Yes.
And that's one of the other things that the foundation does is scholarships. And last year you guys awarded about $13,000 in scholarships.
Yes.
There's a list of different scholarships on your guys' website.
Yes.
Talk about some of those for us.
And we're trying to clean them up a little bit because we have so many in different places. So we award 4 to local high schools. So we offer 1 to Hutchinson High School, that comes through the foundation, 1 to Dassel, Cokato, 1 to Buffalo Lake Hector Stewart, and then 1 to New Century.
Sure.
And then we also, so those come from designation from our board. Yep. Dr. Josh and Aaron Knutson, they have scholarships that run through the foundation that are also available at Hutchinson Health, 2 of them. And then we do have a newer one from Dr. Sarah and Dan McKay. And theirs are directed for EMT services. And then we have some that run through our board picks those. We have 2 for employees going back to school at Hutchinson Health, 2 for employee children that are entering the healthcare field. And then we have 2 graduate scholarships that are open to the entire community. But we've had a lot of people applying for those too. And as you know, I think every single industry is looking for staff, but that is kind of one of our things that we want to support and try to get some more healthcare related positions filled within Hutchinson.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's very important too to be able to support those that are going back to school too. You know, there are a lot of people that want to go and further their career and stuff like that. And that's a big decision for people to do. So it's one thing to leave high school and then go to college. It's a whole nother thing to be like fully supplanted in your job and go, I'm going to make this change.
Yes.
So yeah, that's really hard to do. So now the foundation exists due to generous donors, and the bulk of that is through events that the foundation hosts throughout the year, from the Scramble for Life golf tournament to the Share and Care dinner, for the hospice program to the big one right around the corner, which is the foundation's gala. And we're going to get to the gala in a second, because that's an every other year deal.
It is an every other year.
Yeah. So, but the Share and Care and the Scramble for Life is an every year deal.
Yes.
Now, the Scramble for Life it feels like it was yesterday. I know it was a couple months ago, but that was pretty successful this year.
Yes. Yes. So I think, you're making me use my brain, but we netted probably about $36,000 this year.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of golfers. We were full. So that event is every second Monday of August every year. And those funds go to what I just talked about, our scholarships and our grants.
Yeah. And then where do golfers come from for that? I mean, is it local? Is it all over the place? Is it more of a focus local? And
I would say the majority are probably local. However, we get a fair amount from Metro. We have the HCMC team. They love to come to our scramble. We like to see them every year. So we have some of those tried and true that come from the Metro, and we love to have them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then Share and Care dinner this year was held at Flank Steakhouse, which was great.
Yes.
We had a great time at that one.
Yes.
So I hope that that's something that's kind of in the plans for next year again.
It is. So we are still finalizing, but it's very much looking like it will be a similar event to last year. And it did. It went very well. And we were excited to have, I think we had almost 200 guests.
Yeah. It went a couple shifts too, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah,
2 shifts.
Or a couple days, or it was 2 shifts. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time there. The food was really good.
Yep.
So, so the next one, the big one, which is the gala.
Yes.
And that's right around the corner. That is on...
So it's Saturday, November 19th.
There you go.
Yes.
We've got so many things lined up there, and we're crossing our fingers that one actually happens. But there's one on Thursday, there's one on Friday, then the gala's on Saturday. So there's 3 things back to back for us. The one in the middle is one that we're crossing our fingers for, and that's football related. And we'll just leave that alone for now and not talk about that.
Yes, don't jinx it.
Jinx anything. So, so other than event details, and we're going to talk about that just a little bit, there is something very specific that money for this one is being raised for.
Yes.
And I know Jill can talk about the importance of what this money is going to be for too, and why she feels it's important. We actually talked about this one night sitting at home, and she's like, oh, this is very important for new moms. So you want to talk about kind of where the money goes for the gala this year?
Yes. So this year it's going to an e-NICU. So number one question I got is, what the heck is an e-NICU? So an e-NICU is like an electronic version of a NICU, and it does a lot of things. They actually just had some training for our staff, and it was so fun because the nurses from the OB department at first were kind of like, well, what is this? It's just virtual care, They were so excited after they went through this training. They're like, Rachel, you have no idea how much access and support this can bring. So it's an electronic device, basically, that allows for 24/7 on-demand need, direct connection with a neonatologist from Children's.
Yeah.
And Children's is an amazing hospital. And so to have access to that right away.
Yes. And the whole goal is, every year we were talking about this. Roman helped us with the video so that he has some background knowledge of this. But each year there's about 200 to 250 births at Hutchinson Health. One thing that Hutchinson Health is prideful of is that we still have an OB department. Mm-hmm. A lot of places around us don't. Smaller communities, it's hard for rural communities to have an OB. And we don't ever want to be like, we want to have our OB. We want to grow our OB. So to have some additional support that's in a manageable form is so great. And when you have those bad babies, so usually there's anywhere from 15 to 20 a year that need to be transferred to Children's. It's nice to have that extra layer of support because some babies may be able to stay at Hutchinson Health. And how great is that not to have to separate the mom and the baby and add the stress of the travel? But if that baby does need to be transferred, it's going to expedite that process.
And they'll
so
know
make it quicker.
They'll know what they're getting when the baby
Right
gets
away.
there. I mean,
Yes.
those initial assessments will already be done,
And
which
this,
is huge.
Yes, and this piece of equipment, it's outstanding when you see it. It goes in the delivery room, it can go into the mom's room, it can go into the nursery. So it's really anywhere, and it so hones in on things. The neonatologist can read everything, see charts, etc. So it's really cool.
That's
I was going to say, one of the things that the nurses that I talked to during this process of putting the video together was just the importance of being able to like have it be right outside their room if they know something's going to happen. So, she said sometimes you can just, because of how the delivery is going, that this could be something that needs to be expedited fast, and they need to make a decision. So they can wheel this thing outside, put it right outside of the room, and be able to just, as the delivery happened, bring it on in, hit a button, and within, they were like, well, the training tells us it's 5 minutes that they get to us. And the one nurse who had used it in a different hospital was like, it was almost instantaneous to be able to have access to, somebody who deals with high risk pregnancies and high risk births, that kind of stuff. To be able to have access to that was very comforting for the moms and the parents going through that, especially.
Well, and think about the staff too. Like, what a tricky position you're in to look at this baby who's teetering, and you have to be the one to make the call. Do we separate? Because when you separate right after birth, mom doesn't just go with, right? Baby goes. And then mom, I don't really know what happens. Mom stays and waits to get discharged, but you're the one that makes that call, or it's your team that makes that call. And it's got to happen where you make the call that the baby stays, and maybe it's the wrong call. And then how do you recover from that? So to just have that, like a neonatologist say, yes, send the baby. No, you guys got this. Just that backup pat on the back support to the staff, along with the peace of mind it gives the parents. Nothing bad can come of this addition to Hutch Health.
And if I remember correctly, we're one of the only hospitals that have access to this outside of the metro.
Yes, right. There's very limited others that have kind of this this particular equipment that touches them with children's.
Yeah. So this is a really big deal, and I know the reason I pointed at Jill during this is because I think we generally just love kids a lot, and we really want kids to be successful and that kind of stuff. And why not, have this ability within our hospital here to have access to something like that, especially if somebody, who maybe had a difficult pregnancy or an early birth, that kind of stuff. Like you were saying, just to not be separated or know that you don't have to right away is huge.
I know this was 10 years ago, so for what it's worth, I had a very high risk pregnancy, and a lot of things that happened leading up to that. I think before Sam was born, while Sam was born, and after Sam was born, I've had 4 surgeries at Hutch Health, some of the best healthcare I've ever gotten. I was 100% confident to give birth in Hutchinson. But he was early, and I couldn't see him a lot, but I knew he was there. I have no idea if April is still a nurse there.
April is still there.
I will remember her until the day I die. And just the whole, I knew he was there. I couldn't see much of him because he needed some help, but I knew and I would get reports about him. He wasn't in the Twin Cities. And I don't know, it's scary and awesome and all of the things to be a brand new mom, but to feel really confident about the care that you're receiving just makes the whole thing better. So I have nothing but amazing things to say about Hutchinson Health. I've been very healthy since then. Sam had a rough go his first couple of years with some lung issues and stuff. They took great care of him. Now the kid runs circles around all of us. He's no more asthma or anything. So it's just, when your child can get off on the right foot right away, everything else is just that much easier for them. So
yeah. So this is, I really think it's great to hear great stories from people who have had great experiences at the hospital already, and then this just adds another nice little layer of comfort. Maybe is the right word. One of the nurses also just said, we do a great job here. We do a great job taking care of moms and that kind of stuff. We have highly trained nurses and doctors that work with our moms and our kids. this just adds that little layer that makes us one step better.
Yep.
So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to, everybody else finding out about this really, really cool addition that we get to have at Hutch Health. So I think it's a neat little project. I just happened to get a little inside look at it early because I made a video.
Yes.
So,
Well, so not to veer off course, but in just true like party form.
Yeah.
So the gala is a big deal. Like talk
Yes.
about what goes into planning that. What does the night look like? I've been to one gala. I don't even remember how many years ago the last
Pre-COVID.
one was.
Yeah. So, we were supposed to have a gala last year.
Yep.
So you would have been at the 2019. So 2019 is the last time we had
Yeah.
all before the world got crazy.
And it was so much fun to get
Yes.
all dressed up.
Yes.
And so talk about that.
So we kind of say it's adult prom, right?
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
we don't get to go to too many things where you
no,
get to
we
dress
don't
up.
get to dress up
Yes.
like that.
Yes. So, so the event is at the Crow River Winery. The evening starts. So we have two different tickets that are available. So we have a VIP ticket and then a general gala ticket. So depending on which one you purchase, you either get a VIP pre-party starting at 5 p.m. or you enter as a guest at 6 p.m.
Sure.
So Chef Craig is preparing our meals, and I will tell you, we got to sample. They're delicious. Nice. So there will be a formal sit-down dinner, followed by there's a silent and live auction component of the evening. We will be sharing a little bit about what the ENICU is during that time, so a short program. And then we have Riverside Hitmen as our entertainment for the evening.
Fun.
Yes.
yeah, it sounds like a lot
I
of fun.
remember the last gala. I don't think I stopped dancing
No,
the
yes.
entire night.
Yes, I have to do a shout out to my committee. So I think Roseanne Maher and Renee Honke are our service and entertainment, they called chairs.
Yeah.
They do a great job of picking bands.
Yep.
So, yeah.
No, it was great. And just as the single girl at the table at the time, right? There were no slow songs.
No.
So we danced as like a big group of people, never stopped. And
Yep.
it was amazing. I'm like, good. See, I don't have to sit any out.
Yes.
Right? Now I have a dance partner and,
Nah,
and that's
yeah.
better, but let's just dance the night away. That's what I like.
So I went and rented my tux the other day for this thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The last time I rented a tux and went to this event, I split my pants on the dance floor.
Oh my Lord, I can't believe you're telling that story.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No.
my gosh.
No,
Well, you
I
danced so
I
hard.
dropped it like it's hot.
Yes, you
Literally.
did.
I dropped it like it's hot. And as soon as I hit the ground, I felt this nice breeze hit my legs. What is that? And then I turned around and I asked somebody I was with, I think it was my sister, I'm like, did I just split a hole in my butt? And she's like, yeah. Like you can see I'm like, damn. And it's at the winery. So I got in my car. I left the gala. I got in my car, drove home, and I had black pants at home. So I'm like, I'll just throw these things on. I'll go right back. Nobody knew I left.
Oh no.
And I came back.
Oh no. So I think this is the part of the story that you and I have never talked about. So literally out of nowhere, you're gone. Okay. So now let's backtrack a little bit. I'm at a work function.
Yeah.
It's social, but it's work. So there's some P's and Q's, right? If you're a good employee, you understand there are rules you follow when you're at a work function. There with our registered nurse, the accountant, from Roman's office, all these people. And so we're having some cocktails, but again, I'm always very aware, right? That I'm there with all of my bosses. Okay. And all of a sudden you are gone. And I say to the nurse at Woodstone, I'm like, oh, did we overstep? Did we say something? Did we do something? Are we in trouble? He's just so mad he can't even be here. And I was like, well, where's Roman? To Sarah and no. And everything was so hush hush. And I was like, someone has done something. Was it me? What did I do? What did I say? Did I drink too many glasses of champagne? What has happened? Oh, and I was freaking. And then you came back and just started dancing. And I was like, huh, okay, well,
Just a
and
little
you and I,
pants issue.
Yeah.
we were, I was your employee. And we had a very good working relationship,
Yep.
but it wasn't to the point where I could come up to you and be like, are you mad at me?
Right.
That wasn't the kind of, you were my boss.
Right.
It was very like that. And so you were gone out of nowhere and I freaked out and I'm like, oh no, something horrible has happened here.
I think it's a really fun event, and adult prom is the best way to describe it because you don't get a chance to dress up with your significant other hardly ever, especially west of the Twin Cities by as far as we are. You just
Yeah.
don't have access to that many events to go do this kind of stuff. So I think it's a great opportunity to get dressed up for the night, go have some fun with your significant other, support a great cause.
Yeah. You feel
and-
special just being there.
Yes.
Yeah. I zoned out for a second. Is there a theme this year?
So there is. It's the Winter Wonderland. So it's going to get everybody in that holiday spirit.
I love
Yes.
it.
And there's lots of, I'm just going to say,
Lots
there's
of
lots of light, there's lots of white, and there's lots of sparkles.
Yeah.
I love white light. What are my favorite color lights?
Yeah. Well,
White.
White. Yeah.
I know.
We're we're gonna get married out there next year. So this it'll be nice to see how it's decorated. and
The
stuff.
reason is because when we've toured a few places. When we went to tour, everything was white, and there were these like pillars of light, of white light, and I was like,
Well, I'm just going to say, we have tons of vases with candles that might be available.
oh, that's very good to know.
We're just going to kill two birds with one
Just
stone.
make it a silent auction, put it at a private table that only I know
Absolutely.
about, and done and done. I'll
Yes.
bid all night
Yes.
on it.
Yes.
So you mentioned there's two different tickets for this event. So
Yes.
there's a VIP and then there's the not. So if
Yes.
somebody doesn't want to go to the VIP, they can purchase just a different ticket to it. What's the difference between the two again?
Yeah, so the VIP ticket is $250 and the gala ticket is $125.
Okay. Yeah.
Are there still tickets available?
So we are getting very close to being sold out, but we do have probably about and I'm probably overshooting this a little bit, 20 tickets maybe left.
Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
great job.
be a fun night. Looking forward to it very much. So if somebody wants to pick up one of those last 20 tickets available, how do they do that?
So the easiest, if you look up Hutchinson Health Foundation Gala, you probably will pop right to the ticket purchasing place or our website, and you go and find the gala, and there's a click here link. And if you can't find any of that, you will be able to find our number, and you can just give us a call, and we can help you out.
No problem. I'm really looking forward to the event. Have you found your dress yet?
Well, so I'm having one shipped. It'll be here
perfect.
Monday, and I figure I've gone shopping now once already. I've been looking online endlessly. I know a lot of people that are struggling a little bit this year.
Yeah.
So I bought one on Poshmark, which is
Yes.
evidently a thing that people do.
Yes.
So, and that should be arriving Monday, and I figure if it doesn't work, then I'm just going to have to take a day off from work and go by myself
Yes.
and just hunker down and just get like my blinders on and just go find one, because we're getting down there.
We are getting down there. Rachel, thank you for joining us on
Thank
Hometown
you.
Conversations. This is a 30-minute one. We did it.
Well, we always said
did
we
it.
were going to do a short, quote unquote, short one, and they're always an hour. So, woohoo!
All right. We'll see you guys all on the next episode of Hometown Conversations. On the next one, we will be visiting with Mary Hodson and talking about Small Business Saturday and all the things. And I really do think we're going to go live from Small Business Saturday. So,
Oh, here we go. Buckle up.
buckle up. We'll see you guys all real soon.